Today we're going to use our 5-inch ball to find openness and release through our low back and our hips. So we're going to start using our pelvic clock series with the ball. You can do this without the ball and just imagine you are balancing on it, and you can do it straight on the ground. So we're going to come onto our back on our mat, and the ball is going to go right under your sacrum. So that is the base of your spine, but it's above your tailbone. So the first thing we want to do is just find that. Make sure your feet are parallel, your knees are hip width distance, and straight away, feel the pelvis melting left to right, and also front to back. And just find that. Allow this to be a moment of release for you. Take a nice deep breath, trying to breathe into the backside of the ribs. And then we're going to visualize our navel as 12 and our pubic bone as 6. Our left hip is 3 and our right hip is 9. So it's like the face of a clock through our low belly. And then today I'm going to ask us to start at 9 to 3. Often I ask for 12 to 6, but let's mix it up today. And we're just going to shift our pelvis, kind of melt it left to right. Notice that my knees aren't dropping, guys. It's very tempting. I see a lot of times in studio, people want to drop their knees side to side and over-exaggerate it. And if you're adding this on to another workout that you've done, we've just been doing several together today in our live series. If you are and you're feeling shaking through the inner and outer thighs, that's a good sign. It just means your legs are connecting to your core, and we've done some good work there. Let's now take the pelvis from 6 to 12. So now we're just tipping front to back. And you can see that it is a very small range of movement. Again, the knees aren't changing. And the wrinkles on your shirt shouldn't change. Just a nice opening front to back. And then we can do a few of our actual clock movements. So I'm going to start counterclockwise today. I'm going to go from 12 to 9 to 6 to 3 to 12. Again, you can see my knees aren't tracking with me. They're wobbling, but they're not tipping side to side. And I'm finding deep abdominal connection. Center it out. Then we're going to go clockwise. Then we're going to go 12 to 3 to 6 to 9. 12 to 3 to 6 to 9. Last one. 12, 3, 6, 9. Back to center. We're going to pick up the right leg into a tabletop position. Keep the left foot down, please. And we're just going to rotate that right leg internal to external. We often do this with both legs at the same time. Just try this a few times and allow that thigh bone to drop deeply into the hip socket. Even me just saying that changed the experience in my own skin. So visualize that and maybe make your range of movement of that internal, external a little smaller. See if you get more. Knee is right on top of the hip. Level it out. And then we're going to flex that right foot and yawn, open the right ankle. And flex the right foot and yawn, open the ankle. And let's circle, 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 circle. I'm going clockwise with the ankle and the hip and the back are all working together, guys. So we got to open up our ankles if we want to open up our hip and our low back. Think about the tailbone drifting over the front side of that ball. Come back to start. Both feet are going to be down. Quick pause, quick reset. Make sure you have the pelvis draped over the ball, and then we're going to pick up the left leg. We're going to go internal to external rotated. It's getting a little wobbly up here for me. So make sure that keep your left knee almost kind of sinking the left thigh bone deep down into the dome of the pelvis. Doesn't have to be a great big internal external rotation. And I'm not moving from the lower leg and the knee. The focus is through the top of the thigh bone, and then the knee and the lower leg and the foot react. So your foot should still be in line, big toe, second toe with your knee the whole time. Sink that hip bone a little bit deeper into the pelvis. Come back to the center. We're going to flex and extend at the ankle. You should feel that all the way up the inner thigh. You should feel that work all the way up through your belly. And then go ahead and rotate the ankle. I'm going counterclockwise on this side because I'm going external, and then bringing it in counterclockwise for 3. We're going to come onto our side in 2. Last one. Return both feet back to the mat. You're going to take the ball out from under your back and lay down. Just kind of see what you see. Feels a lot more released and open in my skin. I hope it does in yours too. I'm going to lay on our right side. We're going to bend the knees to about a 45-degree angle. So I have my hips and my heels in alignment. And we're going to take the ball, place it between your inner thighs. The knees are pointing forward, hips and heels are in alignment, ribs are stacked. And then we're going to pick up the left leg. So it's stacked, but the feet and the knees are not touching. I'm barely holding onto that ball. And then we're going to lengthen the left leg all the way out. Hold it out. Knees are aligned. And you want to have your outer ankle, outer knee, and outer hip at the same height. The ball should help you to achieve that. And then we're going to internally rotate once. So the top of the thigh bone is actually going to kind of roll over the ball a little bit. You should almost feel like you're going to lose that ball. Yeah, make sure you don't. Make sure the leg is in nice alignment. Both sides of the waistline are long. And then all we're going to do is come away from and go towards the ball. So it's going to feel like work for sure. We're not smushing the ball. We're not dropping the ball, but it is a downbound intention of the thigh bone. And then coming back to that parallel where we have our ankle, our outer knee, and our outer hip aligned. When I say parallel, I mean the height of the leg. The whole time we are holding internally rotated on the top of that left thigh bone. So your toes are most likely tipped down a little bit. Here we go for 4. Lengthen both sides of the waistline. This should build up some heat through the outer hip. Here we go for 2. This is often an area that is really difficult to access. We're going to hold it with light pressure on the ball, barely holding. And I want you to send an inhale breath to the inside of the hip where that thigh bone has turned. Just send some inhale breath there. Last 2. And go ahead and bring the leg back to parallel. You can bend the knee and bring your foot down. All right, we're going to sit on our back and we are going to use the ball to help keep us organized to again find the connection of the functionality through the hip and the low back. You can take your hands behind you and we're going to flex the ankles a lot. Flex the ankles a lot, hold and breathe. And then we're going to yawn the ankles open a lot. And then you're going to flex and then you're going to yawn. To the best of your ability, you're seated upright in an L sit. Yawn and flex. So I'm using the ball just to help keep some energy through the midline of the body and really lighting up the low belly and the inner thighs. If it feels accessible to you, arms can come forward. Exhale as we crease for 4, 3, 2, and hold the feet flexed, hold the ankles flexed, sitting even taller. 5, 4, 3, 2, and bring the arms down. All right, we're going to flip onto the other side, and we're going to go through that little release of the outer hip and the intention of catching that mobility for the internal rotation. So take the ball back between your inner thighs. We have our right leg stacked. Once we've got the situation with our hips and our heels in alignment, we have everything stacked and we have our outer ankle, outer knee, and outer hip at the same height. So make sure the foot doesn't drop or pop up, okay? And then we're gonna unfold, lengthening the back side of the leg. Hold it all the way out. Make sure both sides of your waistline are long. And then we're gonna internally rotate the upper inner thigh once. The ball should feel like it kind of slid back a little bit. And then holding that internal rotation, we're gonna go down and up just a little bit. We're melting down on the ball and then picking up. Reaching the inner thigh longer than the sole of the foot. Thinking about the hips staying stacked. We're not smushing the ball at all. We are definitely lightly holding it and lightly coming down onto it. Here we go for 4. Reaching and extending. Think about that right inner thigh swiveling back. Hold it with light intention on the ball. Reach the inner thigh longer than the sole of the foot for 3, for 2, and bring the leg back and bring the foot down. Gorgeous. All right, the last thing we're gonna do here is our spinal jump rope. So we're gonna use that ball to help keep our legs organized, and it's gonna go between the inner thighs one more time. You can adjust the position slightly from where we had it. And then we're gonna come into a 4-point kneeling position. Collarbones are wide, tops of feet are down. And when I say spinal jump rope, I don't want us to get too fussy about it. If you've done this with me before, you know what's coming. But we're basically gonna imagine our spine is like a jump rope. And so we're gonna allow the shoulders and the pelvis to move with us. I'm sending my ribs to the right. And then I'm gonna allow the ribs to go down, like we're going into cow pose. The ribs, shoulders, pelvis kind of shift to the left, and then I round up into cat. And then we're sinking down, and we're lifting up. And I encourage you to play with what your range of movement is, and to get your head, neck, and spine involved. So allow as the ribs go down, the chin and the face and the neck open up. And just really lean into this. Let's take it the other direction. Now I'm going to the left side first. Ribs come down, head goes up. And just really allow your body to find some release and some openness, find space. I like an inhale as the ribs go down and an exhale as the abdominals flex and lift up. And using that ball just really keeps the hips and the core and the spine connected via the inner thighs and that middle line of the body. Come back to your last one. Holding here for 5. Can sink our hips back a little bit, opening space through the low back, but keeping the ball helps us to, again, stay connected through the abdominals for 3, for 2, and go ahead and exhale and come on up. You can remove that ball, and anytime you're feeling cranky in your low back or your hips, I hope you return to this sequence to help self-care and improve the way you feel inside your own skin.